right, guys, we got a Gonz in here. That means we got another episode. Welcome back to another Dom and Gonz pregame show. We're getting ready for Ravens Steelers. I'm Dom. That's Gonz. Gonz, how are you on the Saturday afternoon?
Well, I'm a little annoyed because we were talking about our post game that we submitted last week. Those of you who caught us live, thank you, and you saw a great one. But I just wanted to apologize. We weren't able to upload it on YouTube because we lost the footage. So we're trying to not let that happen again.
Technical error. It was a technical error on our part. It was our doing. Technical error on our part.
Yeah.
It happens. We're human. You know, it's a thing.
So if you caught us 5 minutes for our live, 5 minutes during our live and wanted to go watch the whole thing on YouTube, that's our fault. So we'll be all right. This one will definitely be up on YouTube today. But anyway, yeah, it's Steelers week, baby. And this one, it's not just any Steelers week. It feels like an old classic Steelers week. Why? Because both teams are at the top of the division, just like the old Flacco-Roethlisberger times. So let's get it.
Both teams are clicking at a good time. Both teams with 7 wins. Ravens with 3 losses. Steelers with 2 losses going into the year. It is going to be a big one. This is pretty much for the AFC North. Although the Ravens and Steelers do have another matchup later in the year, it's definitely important to at least try to get the first one under your belt. You know, division matchups matter for that playoff seeding. It matters. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, the grind of the game, let's get to these injury reports. Gonz, you got it, or you want me to? Okay, got it. I'll leave it up to you.
Well, again, we could do what we do. If I miss something, go ahead and fill me, or you just fill in the gaps.
All right.
So for Baltimore, relatively healthy. Actually, we had full attendance on Wednesday, or it was either Wednesday or Thursday. But then we had a couple things come up. Arthur Millette injured his calf and was seen in a walking boot or on crutches or something, and is out for this game. So, yeah, no Arthur Millette in the slot. Travis Jones is listed as questionable, but he should be good to go. If you know anything else, you can let us know.
I believe he's out.
Dom, he's out? Was that
He'll be out for this game.
Updated today?
Yeah.
Let me look at the Ravens. I'm not looking at the Ravens
you said
official
Arthur
report. I was looking at
Arthur
a combination. Yeah, Arthur Millette is out.
Arthur Millette
yes.
is out. Who were you just talking about? I'm sorry.
Travis Jones.
Travis Jones. Oh, he's still questionable.
Questionable,
yes, I'm
right.
sorry.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about Millette.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah, you were good.
Okay.
Arthur Millette is out. Travis Jones is questionable.
Right. Okay, so that's okay. Good. I'm not insane. All right, thank you. And then safety Eddie Jackson, as of 30 minutes ago, all of a sudden news popped out on ESPN that he did not make the trip for personal reasons and will not play on Sunday. I don't care. That's fine. Hopefully he's okay. But do we have to talk about it? I think you guys already know what we're going to say. Looking on the so Marcus Williams, get your crap together. Ardarius, have a good game. Can we see some Bo Braid, by the way? All right, let me stay on injuries. We'll talk about that later. Looking on the Pittsburgh type of things, Alex Highsmith injured his ankle against the Commanders, if we all saw that in the fourth quarter, trying to make a tackle on Jaden Daniels. Rolled his ankle, has a sprain, out for the game. C.J. Henderson, a reserve cornerback from Jacksonville they signed, hasn't had much playing time, is out. Running back Jaylen Warren, now this one's probably my biggest one, and dealing with a back issue that sparked up on Thursday, missed practice, but practice on a limited basis on Friday. So he is listed as questionable. I think he'll probably go if I have to pick, because of the extent of this game. Like, this is the stakes. Everything at stake on Sunday is pretty big. So I would expect Warren to go. But if we get lucky and surprised and no Jaylen Warren, that really bodes well for the Ravens, because I'll talk about it more when we get to the defense, about how Jaylen Warren is such an effective running back, and I've been saying this since 2022. So we'll talk about that more. Corey Trice out. I don't think he sees too much play time either, as well as veteran tight end Michael Pruitt, doubtful for the game after not practicing all week. So, yeah, the main things to take away from Pittsburgh is no Highsmith. And I think they got some guy named Herbig. Is he really good? I don't know. We'll see.
I mean,
People talk about him like he's really good.
I mean,
like
he's made some
everybody's like, oh,
plays. He's definitely made some plays.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, lock him down, please. That's what I'm basically hearing. So, all right, thank you. No Highsmith. That's like the duo between T.J. Watt. So that's good. Ravens dodge a bullet not having to work him, because if you remember last year's game, Alex Highsmith had the strip sack on Lamar to finish off that game in Week 5. That slugfest of strop fest of a game. So Ravens dodge a bullet there. Yeah, so those are the two biggest ones, Alex Highsmith and Jalen Warren. If both can't go, that would be a blow for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit everything on the nose. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit everything. Trice out, C.J. Henderson. I mean,
Yeah.
this is for the Steelers, of course. Trice is out. Jalen Warren questionable. Pruitt tight end doubtful. No Alex Highsmith. He's out. Yeah. So it's definitely going to be interesting for this Steelers roster. I guess we're going to see a pretty big handful of Preston Smith on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I'd rather definitely just see a bunch of Najee Harris and no Jalen Warren, because we'll talk in a minute.
Yeah, I mean that would be a huge blow if Warren cannot go. Bars.
Yeah. One more thing for the injuries. I know that speaking of Najee Harris, he's not listed on the injury report, but he did suffer some sort of an ankle injury in the end of the Commanders game as well, and did not practice for the first day, Wednesday or so. So he is nicked up with something. I know he will play, but just something to keep an eye on with these Steelers backs dealing with injuries.
Yeah, I do see. He had one did not practice, like you said, on Wednesday, but practiced fully on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, but he'll be there.
It's going to be something to look at, especially if he's not as explosive. If he's not coming out of the backfield as strong as he usually does.
Take advantage, Baltimore. Blow up the running game, please. Okay.
I mean, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I mean, we're probably the number one run defense. There's your chance to prove it.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, those are the injuries. That's what we're working with. We're pretty much healthy for the most part. Welcome back to Isaiah Likely.
Right.
Great to have you back.
I forgot to bring that up. Yes.
Great to have you back. And
Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton.
Scary injury
he's going to be good to
Thursday,
go.
And then he's good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, practice fully, not even on the injury report. Let's go, Kyle.
Yeah, good to go.
Will he be hindered by this injury? I'm not sure. Sort of what I've been seeing was what I just said with Najee Harris. Is it going to impact him a lot, or is he really good to go? We'll see.
These are the questions. Yeah, so welcome back. Glad to see Hamilton is okay after last week's scare, because trust me, we were all very scared coming off that injury, but it's good to see him good to go. Welcome back, Likely. Welcome back, Urban, recovering from that concussion. Welcome back to him. Glad he's going to be good to go. Van Noy had an illness, recovered. I think he'll be okay. He practiced fully, I believe, Thursday and Friday, so he's good. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going to be full strength going into this game for the most part.
Is Broderick Washington still good, right? He's playing?
He wasn't even on the injury report, so I think he's good to go. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a full strength, well, aside from Michael Pierce.
We're still waiting for his return.
Get Longley back in there, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's been working. I mean, I don't know, but having Broderick and having Travis back, I love it.
And Urban.
Keep that going. And
we got four good ones to rotate in the interior. Matabike, Urban, and the guys we just talked about. I forgot their names.
It was good to have those guys back.
Yeah.
Lamar has pretty much his full offensive arsenal back, with Likely coming back, so I love it. And this is most likely the debut of Tre'Davious White if Arthur Millette can't go. So we're going to be looking forward to see what we get from that. But now let's get to the game itself. Steelers-Ravens. I mean, these games always seem to come down to who wants it more, almost, right? Because it's always a slugfest. It's always a boxing match. One blow, another blow. It's just always back and forth most of the time with these teams. Back in the day, it was always the defensive showing. It would just be what offense is going to step up the most. Now, the offenses are clicking on both cylinders right now. But speaking of that, let's get started with this offense. I think it's pretty clear that the Steelers' defense The Steelers are a very well-rounded team. Let's say that right now. This year, they have shown they are a very, very well-rounded team. I mean, offensively, with Russell Wilson, they've been clicking. Defensively, I mean, it's been helping them out for pretty much majority of the year. And their special teams is playing really, really well this year. So you can really say that they're a pretty much well-rounded team. That defense, with the loss of Alex Highsmith, is definitely less pressure on this offensive line. I think TJ is mostly on that right side of the line. If I'm not, no, he's mostly on that left side of the line. Or I know he probably switches in.
They move him in and out
move him
all
everywhere.
over.
Like
he plays in the middle too
because he's just that versatile.
Yeah,
Hall of Famer. We'll talk about that later. But he's just that versatile of a weapon on that defensive end. But as much as I want to talk about this defensive line, who has TJ, Cam Hayward, now with the addition of Preston Smith, and that's probably why they got Preston, because of Alex Highsmith. I know he had injury history, so to have that backup, I mean, a 7th-round pick, you got to give props to Pittsburgh for making that play. On top of that defensive line, you have a Minkah Fitzpatrick, you have a Joey Porter Jr., you have a Dante Jackson, who's actually been playing relatively well for this Steelers team ever since he's been acquired by them. So, I mean, this Steelers defense, there's playmakers all around, I think, but this Ravens offense is clicking on every single cylinder known to man at this point. One thing that we keep stressing every single week, getting the ball out of Lamar's hands as quickly as possible. When I say this, I mean we all know what a game record TJ Watt is when he's going. And he's always going. So get the ball out of Lamar's hands. Let's work this screen game. Let's do the curl routes, dip and dunks. Let's just give our guys the ball and let them make the play after the catch. I think, though, getting the ball out fast is going to be key because we know that the Steelers' defensive line has given us trouble in the past. That's not going to change this time. So let's get the ball out quick. I would like to see how we utilize Keaton with his return. I know we didn't utilize him much last week. It was his first week back, ramping him up a little bit. I would kind of like to see him more in the rotation. I know that during press conferences this week, Harbaugh and those guys were talking about, maybe utilize Keaton in the kick return game or the punt return game. As much as I am okay with that, I don't know. I kind of want to see what the three-headed monster at running back looks like. I think with Derrick Henry, who we see is a great second half back. I mean, with Justice Hill and Keaton, Derrick Henry can be preserved a lot for that second half, running all three whenever we want to. So as much as I'm okay with Keaton being in position to make special teams plays, I do kind of want to see how we work in that three-headed monster at running back. Give Keaton some catches out of the backfield. I mean, I'm sure he can with his speed, he can make something happen. I just kind of want to see how we utilize this run game to not only get those guys going, but to give Derrick that rest so he can really be a monster in that second half. As far as covering the blitzing, I know everybody's going to love blitzing Lamar, even though he's been leading the blitz all year. Make sure we're utilizing the blocking right, trying to cover every single blitzer coming back. We know, like I said, getting the ball out quick is going to be important going forward. And limiting the turnovers. I don't know what it is about Pittsburgh, but we seem to turn the ball over. Not a lot, but it's kind of like we had that one mess up or turnover that might cost us the game. So please just protect the ball at all costs.
Multiple
turnovers last time. Multiple turnovers. Like it's bad. So please protect the ball at all costs. Lamar, if it's not there, don't throw it, please. Oh my goodness. Because I don't know if it was last week or one of those weeks where, and it was also against the Browns too, where he threw some of those passes could have been picked off, but luckily they had Butterfingers like we had Butterfingers. So please just be careful with the ball, protect the ball at all costs, no fumbles, no picks. Just limit the offensive mistakes and those costly penalties that back us up to that 2nd and 15 or that 3rd and 15. Yeah. Keep the downs manageable. Exactly. Keep the downs manageable against this Pittsburgh defense because they will make you pay if you try to go in those long situations. They will make you pay. So just be careful and be mindful of those situations because you do not want to start off 2nd and 20. You don't want to be 1st and 20. Just maintain your positioning on the field. It's very, very important. This defense knows us like the back of their hand. They've been playing Lamar for years now. There's not much we can throw at them that they don't already know. So just try to not make mistakes. Try to play penalty-free football as much as possible. And I feel like this offense can move, but again, it's the Steelers, so It's gonna be ugly. This game is gonna be ugly. I just know it for a fact.
Well, okay. Yeah, we got to get it going on offense. Every time we play them, we have a 10-point game, 17. Like, no, we got to score 28 or 30 to win this game. I'm tired of and we should have scored 30 last time we played them. I don't care what you guys say. We played down to our opponent. We dropped all the passes. There were silly turnovers, a fumble that completely destroyed our momentum by Justice Hill. Please don't fumble again, Justice Hill. And then strip sacks and interceptions in the end. Like, just I'm sick of it. Let's let out on this team. We can. We've let out on other good defenses. We destroyed the Broncos. We can do this. We can. While the Steelers are good on defense, they're not great. Okay, they're top 10, but we can beat them. I'm serious. We have played down to them every single year. It's time to show who the better team is, and it sucks that this year they're actually really good. But last year they weren't. So this year I think it's going to be a little different. It has to be, because if it doesn't, it's just going to look real bad on us. We just can't get out of our own way against this team. We've got to win this game. I think this is huge. Offense, if they can just do their thing, I agree with the pre-snap 100%. Don't get false started. Don't get holds. Don't get illegal formations or illegal motions or whatever. Just stupidity. Just play your game and settle down. We can move on them. They will crack. I promise you. The way we've been playing and the way we've been scheming, if we just continue to do what we're doing, we can beat them. I really think we can. The O-line just has to be on top of it. They've got studs in them all over the place, middle, outside, and second to middle, because they've got Keanu Benton in there. They've got Cam Hayward. They've got not Highsmith anymore, but Watt and Herbig, whoever that is. I've heard his name before. I know who he is. I think he's made a couple plays like Dom says, but he should not be a game wrecker. We need a strong game from these tackles, and we need Lamar to continue what he's doing. You got to sense the pressure too, because you know they're going to fly off the edge at times. There might be one or two plays where they fly off the edge. Lamar, you've got to sense it. You got to step up and throw it away, or throw a completion. But you just can't stand there sometimes, because if you just stand there flat-footed like other quarterbacks have against Watt, you're going to get hit, you're going to fumble, and it's going to be a disaster. So just be yourself. You're going to be fine. I think we can do this. I really do. And it's Patrick Queen too. Did you see all the stuff this week about the trash talk from Queen and Elliott? Like, come on now. We can't lose to those guys. We know them very well. You said they know us very well. We know them even better because of that. Two key pieces of their defense we know extremely well. Okay? And yeah, you said they know us. What else can we do? This year, our offense is different than last year's. We've got another element that they have to defend, and that is the running game, Derrick Henry. Okay? And Justice Hill, the screen game. We're good at screens now. So I would argue there is some more stuff we can do this year that we couldn't do in the past. The last time they played them, it's Tyler Huntley or Greg Roman's offense. I mean, come on. Last year should have been a 30-point game, but we dropped the passes. Let's do what we've been doing to everyone this year, and we will score 30. No problem. Okay? You just got to be smart with the football. You cannot turn it over. So that's my key to the game. That's probably my biggest key to the game is turnovers. This game, the turnovers absolutely kill the Ravens every single time we play them. Take care of the football. I'm circling that 3 times with a red marker. Take care of the ball. Okay? You can't turn it over to give them hope. You can't. You can't, because that's how you let them get back in the game. Those Watt fumbles that they get on the goal line are ridiculous. You can't turn it over. Okay? Don't turn it over. That's number 1. Number 2, run the ball. Let that open up the plays, like it does every week. Okay? You know they're gonna, and I'm not gonna sit here and say run it when it's not working, but you need to start running the ball. Get them on their toes. Okay? Play action over the top. Bengals stopped it last week. I'm not expecting Henry to have a big game, because all of our AFC North matches so far, that's 3, Henry has not done too much. Okay? He'll probably get a solid 50, 60, 70 yards and then maybe a score. But is he going to go crazy, 150 yards? Probably not. Okay? This is AFC North ball. They're going to make us throw it. Okay? So I'm anticipating that as well, but you still want to run it. You still want to get them going. Get your feet wet with the runs, and then in the second half, like you said, to your point, feed Henry the rock. And he can bust some just single-handedly because of a tired defense. Okay? Cameron Hayward's 39. You don't think he feels a little tired in the end of the games, maybe? I'd love to see it. Okay? Run it right at him. Run it right at Queen. Run it right at Deshaun Elliott. Run their asses over. And maybe they'll start talking a little bit different about Baltimore. Okay? Deshaun Elliott wasn't exactly a stud in Baltimore either, like he's talking. Was he? I mean, because if he was, he'd still be here.
And another guy who was
he's dissing Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams was a very good player in 2022 when he first got here. Okay? I don't know what – I know he's taking a step back now, and I know that Elliott's having a step up. But this is your third team, buddy. The other team cut you as well, Miami, right? So you just need to relax a little bit with the trash talk until we actually, let's see what happens. Let's let the year pan out, okay? Because there's a lot of football left after this year too, or after this game.
still got to shoot.
Yeah, run the ball, don't turn it over, and you should be fine, okay? And catch the ball. Catch the ball this time. That's it. It's simple. It's very simple.
Please
okay?
catch the ball.
Just catch it. And they've done it. Good job. Just don't – I don't hope they don't remember what happened last year and think, oh, wait, we dropped every pass last game. That's why we lost. Okay, let's focus on it. No, don't. Just go out there and ball. Okay, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like straight like that. Just catch the ball. I remember
my keys are so basic this year. It's fundamentals. It's literally fundamentals because we forget how to do that against Pittsburgh. We can beat them.
I don't know if it's a mentality thing or what. Because last year in that first game, I don't count the second game because we already had the playoffs locked in. So we were everybody was out there. But that first game was just drop city in Pittsburgh. It was bad. It was super bad. But yeah, I mean, this definitely has to be a bounce back game for us from last year, especially to win the division. I mean, it's just that simple. We want the division. We want that. We want that seeding. I'm not mad at that seeding at all if we get it. So yeah, pretty simple, guys. Avoid the mistakes. Don't do any turnovers and catch the ball. And we can try to win this game, at least on that offensive side of the ball. But yeah, let's go on to that defense. Gonz, can you still hear me? Hold on, guys. I think we might have lost him.
No, you didn't miss me. No. You couldn't hear me talking?
I couldn't hear anything you were saying. You were cutting out.
So if I do that, you can't hear me?
No, I can hear you now. I can still hear you even when you do that. For some reason, it was buffering.
Oh,
so I don't know what was.
I was touching my phone, so that's probably why.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we can hear you now.
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the keys, guys. Just remember the fundamentals. No mistakes. Catch the ball. I mean, that's pretty much it. We would have did that last year. And run it. Please run it. But yeah, let's get over to this defense. Defense. We've had a couple of conversations already. My biggest thing here is I'm not as afraid of Russell Wilson as I am of us making mistakes. That is my biggest fear. And this is not a shot at Russell Wilson. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. Definitely a legend in his own right. But in that respect, as well as he's been playing, I don't think it's anything that we can't really stop. At least from what I've seen. If somebody wants to prove me wrong, I'll take that L and be completely wrong. But the biggest threat right now that I can see on this Steelers offense is George Pickens' ability to win those 50-50 ball matchups.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much one of those bigger threats. Now, this is also bearing if Warren is going to be playing or not, because that's two threats that this Pittsburgh Steelers team has. Well, with the addition of Mike Will. My apologies. He's having more time now with that offense, so we'll have to see how he gets worked in. So you have two guys on that Pittsburgh Steelers offense who can probably win in a 50-50 ball matchup when that ball is in the air. And you know how much Russell Wilson loves those moon balls. I mean, shoot, he had a moon ball last week to Mike Will to pretty much seal that game against the Commanders, which I almost thought they were going to lose.
They should have lost. Commanders gave it away.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were going to
Completely.
lose that game, but they did not. They ended up coming through with it at the end. So at this point right now, their run game, Najee hasn't been earth-shattering great, right? He hasn't really been, dominant, but he's good for at least maybe 3-4 pop when given the opportunity to have the ball. Warren is a quick threat out of the backfield who's been a little more effective, as you said earlier, when it comes to running the ball for the Steelers. So at this point, my biggest fear is us not being able to win those 50-50 ball matchups against Pickens and Mike Williams. Now, Marlowe, I'm not too afraid of in a lot of those coverage situations. Wiggins has been doing pretty well in those coverage situations. Stevens, he doesn't turn his head around, so I don't really know how good he will be in those coverage situations. It's not confirmed if Trey White is playing, but with Millette out, I'm guessing he most likely will be playing.
Yeah,
so
Harbaugh hinted at it all week.
So most likely he'll be playing. Zach Orr said that Trey White has been pretty much working his tail off to learn the playbook. He's picking up all the language, ideologies, all that different stuff, and so he's been clicking with it. So I'm guessing if Arthur Millette's out, this will be his debut. So that's pretty much my biggest fear when it comes to that is, can we win in those 50-50 ball opportunities? And number two, can we get pressure on Russell Wilson? Now, the pressure Thursday of last week was not terrible.
It was pretty good, actually. I mean,
pretty good.
We said it on our live stream. 40 out of 56 dropbacks, Joe Burrow was under pressure.
Under pressure.
Which is pretty good.
Which is not terrible. Like, if you look at it from, at least the statistics standpoint, I mean, I know Burrow still was able to get out of the pocket, but it's Burrow. So, I mean, he's a talented quarterback. I mean, no one's ever going to deny Burrow's talent.
Russ is good at throwing on the run, though, too. So
he built his career almost off of it, being able to get out of the pocket and being able to manipulate defenses so he can make his throws.
We got to tackle this little guy.
To that point, and that's exactly what I was going to get to. Get to Russell if he decides to try to leave that pocket. I mean, we have to be better at containing the quarterback. I feel as though we haven't really been great at that this year as far as keeping the quarterback in the pocket and being able to make great plays. Baker's done it against us. I think Jaden Daniels did it a little bit against us when he played Washington. Burrow's done it against us in both games. We have not been able to really contain the QB. So we have to either keep him in the pocket or be able to get to him quickly as possible when he's trying to escape. Because if you don't, 9 out of 10, he's going to try to hit somebody for a 50-50. That's probably going to be a touchdown. So I feel like getting pressure on Russell is going to be very, very important. I want to see who's going to step up in this game, because is it going to be Oweh? You know what I mean? It's Van Noy.
Please.
Anybody. Matabike. Who's going to step up on this line?
Can we get 3 more sacks from Matabike?
I wouldn't mind it. Matabike, if you want to sacks, I'm not mad at it. Do it. I don't care. Just, if you want to get to the quarterback, do it. Please stat pad. I'm okay with stat padding if you're getting to the quarterback. But yeah, that's going to be – it's pretty much that. Like, can you get to Russell to stop him from making these plays? The run game has been – our run defense, although we are first, it has been a little shaky. Not to the point where I'm concerned, but it has been a little bit shaky. I think they'll play more stern, especially against Najee Harris. I mean, again, we know him a little well. So I think it'll be better in this Pittsburgh game. But please, let's just try to get pressure on Russell. Let's see if we can try to build on the momentum that we had from Thursday. We had a whole 10 days to get some rest, to go over a game plan on this defense. I'm gonna hold my faith that this secondary plays better than they have in the past first 10 weeks. I'm going to hold my faith that they play way better. Okay, let's not give George Pickens a 100-yard game. Okay, I don't want to see Mike Will with 50 to 60 yards. Freiermuth, I don't want to see him with 50 to 60 yards.
That's for me.
At Fryermuth, yeah, another great
These
piece.
linebackers can't cover, so we really we need to stop the middle of the field, which is what Fryermuth excels at.
Yeah, he's going to be a piece to watch too. I know you're probably going to attack that more in your piece, but it's just we have to be better in coverage. And then the funny thing is that we say that though, but when you look at the statistics, we aren't terrible in coverage with the little linebackers. So I'm sitting here like, what are we doing wrong? I mean,
people are just making great plays on us. We've got coverage on people. There was one stat where there was not many yards of separation. I think that was in the Commanders game for Terry McLaurin, and we just still get.
They just made amazing plays.
Great
players.
There's nothing else to say, but they still got shit on. I mean, I can't. There's no other words to say for it. I mean, we can't do that. We can't do it. Come on, Brandon Steve, please.
That's my question, and I want to ask you this as well. I know you still need to get into your points, but it's like, dude, if this game, hypothetically speaking, and I'm gonna knock on wood at this point in time because I don't want it to happen. If the Steelers' receivers have another great game, who do we begin to look at?
Well,
as far as why
are you asking maybe if Wilson throws for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, and then the receiver, and then like Wilson, a Jamar Chase game?
Wilson has a Burrow type game.
Okay.
The first 2 games that he played against us this year. Who do we begin to look at as far as the Ravens' secondary discrepancy?
Well, I gave Burrow all the credit in the world for those 2 great games against Baltimore, and said that the other teams haven't really done put apart the clean games, such clean games that like Burrow has. I also said the worst performance of the year was the Browns game because there was just nothing right in that game. No pressure, no coverage, nothing, and drop picks. Even on that terrible coverage, we still had opportunities to catch picks. But that was my worst performance of the year. Every other game, it wasn't that terrible. I mean, we had our breakdowns in the Dallas game, had our breakdowns in the Vegas game at the end. But those games went hand in hand with each other. It wasn't just the defense screwing around. I mean, the offense went to sleep in the Raiders game, and same for the Cowboys. And then Tucker missed field goals. It was just a combination of everything snowballing into a potential choke, and it was a choke in the Raiders game. But if you look at other games, it wasn't solely this defense just playing terrible. I mean, the defense kept us in it in the Bengals game. Whether you guys want to admit it or not, it kept us in it for the most part. And it could have possibly been an interception by Brandon Stevens to make it a 7-7 game going into half for the Bengals. So they've not been the worst thing in history as we've seen for some of the games. But yeah, and then there's been plenty of moments where they've looked really like out of place and just garbage overall. But it hasn't been as bad as we're thinking. But if we continue to give up games like the Burrow games, that is when it definitely is to hit that dark red apocalyptic red button, because then it just shows that anybody can carve us up. And that is a concern. I was giving it to Burrow. I don't think Russell Wilson is going to have that type of day. I think Pickens might have he could definitely go over 100 yards because they'll just throw it up to him and he'll just moss somebody. I mean, that dude is absolutely insane. He's so annoying, too, because I hate his attitude, but he's so good at football. Yeah, I just, come on, man. Can we just please catch an interception on one of these? And I'm tying in some of my points on defense. Russ is going to take his shots. So let's play a cover 2 shell on some of these so we can have double team these guys. If you play a cover 2 man under, you got 2 safeties. So if he tries to take a shot deep, there's going to be a safety, which is in a deep blue zone, followed by a corner who's trailing him. So let's get some picks. Just like the Commanders did, Jeremy Chin intercepted them in the very same coverage I'm talking about. Go watch the replay. There was a corner trailing. Safety was Jeremy Chin in that situation. He dropped back perfectly, caught a free interception. It was like a punt return right into his lap. Okay? So don't let Wilson just take shots over and over and over again, one-on-one with Pickens. If you see it, put someone else on him, and then change your coverage a little bit. Maybe go to a cover 2. or cover 4 or cover or man. I mean, there's plenty of options, but far too many times do I see Ravens cornerbacks left on islands against really great superstar receivers, and then they just get toasted. So let's not do that anymore, please. Well, it wasn't. Let me take that back. It wasn't too bad on the Bengals game. I didn't see Chase running one-on-one down the left side. They were leaving other people. Chase burned us. Just that one play touchdown. There was 3 Ravens in the area. He just blew right past them. It was a miscommunication in the coverage. Marcus Williams didn't drop back. So yeah, let me not go be too critical on that. But if something's not working against Pickens, like if somebody's struggling, rotate him, please. Like if Steven has a bad start to the game, rotate. Put Wiggins on him. Put Marlowe on him. Do something else. Just don't stand pat and get cooked over and over again. Because that is what George Pickens does to defenders. He shits on them. He literally does. I have no other words to say about it. He literally does. He shits on them. He goes up and he just teabags people. I'm sorry for being inappropriate, but it's what he does. I mean, he goes up and he just absolutely destroys the defender, attacks the ball. He's a great receiver. I don't want to be on a highlight reel. So please, please, please rotate your corners on him. Don't let him go crazy. Okay? Thank you. Please, Zachary Orr. That's something you can do, Harbaugh and Zachary Orr. Okay? So all this stuff where it's not Zachary Orr playing defense, you can tell who's coming in and who's coming out. So please be smart. Okay? Second thing, stop the run. Don't let them get going. Make Wilson one-dimensional, and then he can't use his play-action bootlegs if we are stopping the run. Okay? Because that's one of Wilson and the Steelers' favorite plays is play-action, bootlegs, rolling left or right. He can make all the throws. Okay? He's getting old, but he's still making the throws pretty good. Okay? But that is the main thing. Stopping the run and then protecting the deep ball. Because Wilson, that's the biggest difference between Fields and Wilson. Fields did not take shots. Wilson takes shots every game, multiple shots every
successfully
game. Don't
too.
get destroyed. Say it again.
Takes successful shots too. Which
Well,
even more difficult.
He wasn't too successful against Washington.
No, he was not, except for that moon ball.
Right at the end
to win the game. Yeah,
right,
but
right.
Prior to that, though, he was playing relatively well, at least with the deep shot.
Yeah, with the deep shots against the Jets, the Raiders, and the Giants. So let's not get in that same category of 2 and 6 squads and just give up wide open touchdowns. Please be ready for the deep ball. Okay, you just can't get burned. You can't get burned. Middle of the field, Freiermuth. That's where he eats. Okay, tight end number 88 from Penn State. I need Roquan and Kyle Hamilton and Ardarius Washington. Whoever's going to be manned up on Freiermuth, you've got to be ready. You've got to watch out for him on little play-action plays. He could slip out of the flat, and we need to make sure we tackle him. He's a big guy. He can break. He gets a little bit of yak, but he's pretty sure-handed overall. So we've got to watch. Don't let him cook us, please. Okay, there's just a lot of potential threats on the Steelers team. Pickens, Freiermuth, Warren. Okay, if he plays, that's huge. If he does not play, that's huge as well because he takes away that little threat of a rack when he gets the ball in his hands after catches. He is a good receiver, and he's got some power to his run game too. He's not just small and speedy. He can run through you. I mean, we've seen so many times where Baltimore has failed to tackle this guy short of the first down, and then he ends up breaking for 5 yards and converting 3rd and 10 when a flat pass that should be tackled for no gain. I saw that twice in the past 2 years. One at the Steelers game in 22 when I went, and then once last year too. You got to tackle. You got to tackle. Okay? So, but yeah, that's the difference. If he's not playing, Ravens will catch another huge break on defense because that dude is, in my opinion, should be RB1 for the Steelers. And I've said this for years. I really have. I think that guy has really good potential to just absolutely explode, but the Steelers keep using him as a 3rd down back and RB number 2. They keep giving it to Najee, which is fine. So yeah, I think we've done pretty good against Najee. I'm not too worried about the defense. Please don't prove me wrong. Please tackle him. Okay, he's a bigger guy. He's got a little bit of speed, but he's sort of that Le'Veon Bell type of runner. He tries to run and try to find crazy holes. He doesn't just run straight. So take advantage, make the tackle, and let's destroy these Steelers, please. We can do it. We can do it.
Yeah.
And catch some interceptions, please. Force some turnovers, which would be great. Which I kind of piggybacked on from the deep ball. If you play the right coverage, Wilson might throw you some freebies. He might. He might just say, F it, and chucking this. And chucks it deep. There's no one there but defenders. Intercept it, please. It might happen. Okay? I'm putting trust in this defense. Okay? Don't fail me, please. Okay? I know you guys want this game bad. Right? They say you're not a Baltimore Raven until you beat Pittsburgh. There's a couple guys on our team that have 0 wins against Pittsburgh. So let's get some wins for them. Okay? Starting tomorrow.
Yeah, now, that is the philosophy. If you are a Raven and you have not beat the Steelers yet.
I know I'm talking real positive, but I'm about to talk. Once we get to the score predictions, I'm a little nervous about some things. What's the score? What are we doing?
Man, I don't even. Oh God, I wasn't looking forward to this part of the episode because I don't know. Because let's be completely honest with ourselves here. This is not going to be a blowout. It's not going to be a blowout by any means necessary for either team. It's going to come down to the wire. That's just how this rivalry has been for forever, right?
Well, while Dom thinks about that, I'll go ahead and share my little piece.
What's your thoughts?
If this ends up being like a low-scoring game, the Baltimore Ravens will lose. Okay? They will lose going into the fourth quarter. If it's 9-3, if it's 13-10, like this, that's what Pittsburgh wants. If they get the game close like that, we will lose. That's why I was stressing in the earlier part of the show that the offense has to score 28 If we do, there's a really good. Don't know if Russell Wilson and that offense can keep up with 30 points. I don't know if they can. Okay, Burrow can. We already know. They're dynamic. But if we are forcing them to play catch-up, I think that would play into our hands. If we can jump out to a 10-0, 14-0 type of thing and make them panic a little bit and get out of their run game, get out of their play action, which makes them so successful, and just make them start running 4 verts every play, I think that plays into our hands. Okay? But if we're struggling again on offense, this is not going to go well. Now, I may be wrong, and Ravens could win the game 3-0. I don't know. But that's my prediction. If this gets to a close, low-scoring, close game, it plays right into Pittsburgh. Because that's when they can turn those rushers loose. And then if they get a lead, a low-scoring lead, Mike Tomlin could say, TJ, go get me that ball. And that's what he'll do. That's what they do every time it's close in the fourth quarter. They go and they take the ball away. Okay? No matter how good or bad their defense is. So don't play into their hands. Let's play our game, and let's score 28 points, 30 points, and we can come away with this dub. But it's hard to say it all depends how this game goes. I can give you a score prediction. I can see us winning or losing.
So let's speak.
Oh, you got it?
Let's speak in the hypotheticals, right? I think the Ravens can win this game 23-17.
Pretty low. Okay.
I think they can
win
this game. Not
extremely low, but okay.
I think they can win this game 23-17. Now, I want to go to your point. When we let the Steelers hang around, right? That is my concern. Are we going to let the Steelers hang around and give them an opportunity to try to take a lead? Because it's not like we have not jumped on this team before, right? It's pretty much we will jump out, lead, let them hang around, sit in the neighborhood, chalk it up, and then they end up.
Like I just said, 10-6, 10-3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Making the play to give them the lead to try to win the game. So we need, as you keep saying, and you made a great point, put the team away. You have the opportunity to put this team away. Take the points in the red zone when you get them. Please, like that's pretty much the mentality that I need this team to have, because when you let the teams hang around, there's no way you are not going to be looking over your shoulder like, oh my goodness, all they need is a touchdown to take the lead. You know what I mean? So when you get to the red zone, if you cannot get in the end zone, get Tucker out there, take your 3, get something on the board to make sure you're not letting the Steelers hang around in this game so they can try to win it. You need to, like, honestly, if they can put up 30, I'm not going to be mad at it.
But I think you kind of have to. Just the way that these games go and the way this defense has been, you can't expect the defense to hold them to under 10 points total the whole game.
I think with our familiarity with Russell, because we played him before. We played Russell before, and we've held him to not a great game, right? So
2 different teams, Seattle and Broncos.
Correct. This is our 3rd time seeing him with a different team, right? So at this point, we have familiarity with Russell and how he plays and how he utilizes his offense. Now, again, this is under one of the best coaches ever, right, with Mike Tomlin, right? So his mentality could be changing. I don't know. But with Russell, I feel like though you can try to hold him, right, for him to not have those explosive plays, but you cannot. But on the offensive end, you need to be putting up something so the Steelers are not hanging around with hope to win the game. That's basically it. That's why I say 23-17. You just put it up, just come down to that last play. If Tucker needs to kick a 3 to give us that 6-point lead, do that. Get out of there with a win. That's basically it. We just need to get out of Pittsburgh with a win. So I think Ravens take it 23-17.
Wow. Okay. So that's your final one.
That's my final prediction.
If we play into their game, the Ravens will lose this game 16-10. If we play into our game, we will win this game 28-20.
Okay.
Or 30-23 or something.
Okay.
Now, which one am I going to go with? I'm going to have to, well, I'm going to have to say 31. I'm going to have to say 28-20. I'm going to say it.
So you think we score 4? You said we scored 4 touchdowns on Sunday.
I think we have to win. I do. And we should have easily done it last time we played. So,
honestly,
worse, not in a more rusty offense at the time, because remember, that was Monken's 5th game as the Ravens head coach, or not head coach, offensive coordinator. So now, he's got a lot more games under his belt. We're rolling in here on offense. We're the highest scoring offense in the NFL, okay, averaging 31 points a game, something like that, okay? You have to score 28 to give yourself the best chance to win.
And I want to say one thing to that point. I feel as though, and I kind of agree with you in the sentiment of maybe we could put up 28-30 because something kind of just like popped into my head as you were talking. And I was like, I mean, remember in the Bengals game, that offense was very, very, very stagnant. Right? Like it was stagnant at first, but then a switch was flipped, right? And we just consecutively kept scoring. Right? We consecutively kept getting down the field. We kept getting into the end zone, no matter who it was. And it wasn't the same person going into the end zone. It was like different people in the end zone at each time. So I think the new Ravens offensive mentality can have us scoring late multiple times in games.
You got to score bunches.
Right.
Like
being able to put up points.
It all goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
Keep the pedal to the metal every time, okay? If you score a touchdown, go up, and then a field goal, go up 10-0 and be like, oh, okay, we're good. We kind of got a 2-score lead. We can roll. That's how they win. That's how Pittsburgh wins every single game. So 10-0 is not enough. You want to get to 14-0. You want to get to 21-0, 28-0. Keep it rolling because that's what it could have been last year, I think.
I mean, it was just the drops. We had hella drops, and that led to Pittsburgh.
Play your game.
That led to Pittsburgh hanging around.
Yeah. This defense does not – this defense – we don't need to pressure them and force them to play like the 2000 Ravens defense, give them 6 points total. They're not that great. We're not asking them to be great. We're asking them to be sufficient enough, good enough. 20 points, 28-20. That is
Get
good
some
enough.
stops.
Okay?
Get some key
Two
stops.
touchdowns and 2 field goals. That's all that I'm saying that they'll score. Okay? And then it's rest of the offense to punch it in the end zone when you get the chance. Which is not – I don't feel like asking for 28 points is going to be a long way. Is that outrageous to ask for?
We've been able to do it.
And I get it. It's division football. I get it. But the Ravens have put up at least over 20 points in all of the division games so far, including the Browns. Okay? And they should have put up 27 in that Browns game, but Justin missed a field goal and made us have to go for a touchdown at the end when he could have just kicked the field goal to win, but he screwed it up earlier. So there you go. 27-28. I mean, 27-20, I will take that. I'm going with 28-20, but 27-20 in a Pittsburgh game, I will take that. You got to score more than 20 points, though. I think more than 25. It's got to be 27 or 28. It has to be.
Okay.
For this to be. I just don't feel good about less than 20 points, our chances. I mean, whatever you can do to get the win, but that's just my opinion. All right.
I mean, we'll just have to see. Can the Ravens pull it off? We'll be watching to find out. Unfortunately, I'll be at work watching the game, so I'll be watching from my desk. But we'll be watching to find out. Battle for the AFC North. We will be there. Let us know if you're watching that game. Is your team playing Sunday? How are you guys' teams doing so far? Let us know in the comment section down below. Gonz, any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Let's play your game. Keep the knee to the throat when you have hold of it, and just go out there and do your thing and win. Take the division. Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, again, one seed. I mean, I don't see the Chiefs losing 3 games or 3 or more games this year. So one seed is pretty much out of the question. And honestly, personally, going into this year, I didn't care about the 1 seed anyway. My main thing was just us getting. There you go. I didn't care about the 1 seed, and get us to the dance, right? Get us tickets to the dance, and let's dance. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. Let's just get in. And I would love to be in as a division winner. So the Bengals are in the rear view. They have been swept. We are 2-0 against them. That's fine. Let's get this one against the Steelers, man. Let's just get this one, take the AFC North, win the AFC North, and let's just get to the playoffs. I'd love to do that. Let's just dance to the sunset.
Please.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for us on this pregame edition of Dom and God Sports Talk. We will probably see you guys. We'll coordinate if we're going to do a post-game show Sunday after the game. I don't get off until 5 p.m., so it'll probably be sometime in the evening anyway. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. But thank you guys for watching our content, for liking, subscribing, commenting, talking to us. We love it. We appreciate you all for joining us on these shows. We love talking football with you guys. We love talking football with each other. It's just a big community, so we love it. But that's going to do it for us, guys. Let's hope for a Ravens dub. I'm Dom. That's Gonz. We'll see you guys, hopefully following a Ravens W. Go Ravens.
Please.